This is Camnet News. Thank you so much for choosing us. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. The top stories on our desk. The Timber Association of Zambia questions government over alleged Chitotela's Mukola harvesting license. OCIDA castigates partisan traditional leaders. Police given 72 hours to find the HATEMBO siblings. And in international news, hundreds of children in Mozambique separated from families. And in sports news, ZESCO book a finals date with LUSAKA DYNAMOS in the 2021 ABSA Cup. Join me shortly for the details. 2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses with only a few months remaining down to the ballot. The battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest of appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor, or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict.
For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883, 0979 753010, or email us info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us on Camnet TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdict.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Thank you for joining us. The Motherland Defenders Coalition has given the Zambia Police Service 72 hours ultimatum to find the two citizens at the center of the land incident involving United Party for National Development UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema. The two siblings, Feluna and Milton HATEMBO, have been missing for close to 3 months, a matter that has raised concern from various stakeholders. Coalition spokesperson Andrew Ntewewe has since challenged the Inspector General of Police, Kakoma Kanganja, to ensure that the two citizens are found, adding that failure to do so will clearly demonstrate his failure towards the Zambian people who he is supposed to protect. Mr. Ntewewe has further recommended that President Edgar Lungu retire the police IG in national interest in an event he fails to secure the safety of the two citizens. Meanwhile, the coalition has since demanded that police up their game to ensure that peace prevails before, during, and after the elections.
Demand that the police must find the HATEMBOs within 72 hours and bring them physically to us, their fellow citizens. We want this to be very clear, that as we have indicated in our statement, the habit, the act of abducting citizens is un-Zambian and unacceptable. We therefore demand that the police must move in and ensure that the HATEMBOs are brought to us, their fellow citizens, within 72 hours, so that they can enjoy their fundamental human rights like all of us, and so that they can live in peace as well.
We wish to indicate that a party that cannot manage its internal affairs cannot be trusted to run the affairs of our country. And we wish to advise HH and his party members that politics is not a battlefield for violence, nepotism, tribalism, shooting, and all sorts of violence. Politics is a marketplace where politicians should be able to exchange progressive national ideas with the aim of adding value to the Zambian people.
United Party for National Development, UPND Chairman for Local Government, Newton Samankai, says it is important that all council workers in the country are treated fairly in order for them to fully deliver a good service to the public. Mr. Samankai, who is also a Mwinyilunga Member of Parliament, explains that the councils across the country must be given space to work independently without any interference from political parties. The lawmaker has condemned the Patriotic Front for involving the local government in the meeting they had, where they were discussing the issues of selling the council properties recently. He says this is disturbing to see that the Patriotic Front Lusaka Province Chairman Kennedy Kamba called the Lusaka City Council Town Clerk and 2 directors for a meeting when he does not serve in government. Mr. Samakai added that Mr. Kamba has no legal mandate or authority to do such things, and this is an insult to the council professionalism. Let's look at this.
I want to state that we condemn this kind of maneuvers by the Patriotic Front to involve the management of local government in their illicit activities of stripping councils, cities and local councils of their properties. We want to further state that these properties are meant to be used to provide services to the localities in which these councils are stationed. This idea is not good. This is a sign of a regime that is on its way, a regime that is outgoing, and they want to ensure that they enrich themselves. Like someone had said, all those who buy council properties in the last, those who have bought in the last 1 year, will find a way when we form government, when HH forms government, we'll find a way of ensuring that these properties are grabbed and taken back to the councils so that they are able to provide services to the communities which they serve.
The Anti-Political Violence Association of Zambia is concerned at the continued trend of political violence involving the 2 major political parties in the country. Association Deputy General Secretary Davison Zulu is disappointed that despite messages of unity being sent across the country, especially as the country heads towards the polls, no change has been recorded. Mr. Zulu has cited the incident involving the United Party for National Development UPND aspiring candidate in Mukoshi, who was shot by suspected party opponents at his residence on the 15th of April 2021 as something that should not be condoned. He has since appealed to the Zambia police to arrest anyone who will be found wanting or involving themselves in political violence.
We are so disappointed with the continuation of political violence which is being perpetrated by the 2 giant political parties in Zambia, which is the Patriotic Front, PF, and the United Party for National Development, UPND. Whereby it has even reached an extent of using the firearms, like what happened in Koshi, where an aspiring candidate for UPND was shot. This is so unfortunate and unacceptable in the country, which is a Christian nation like Zambia. We appeal to the Zambia Police Service to investigate thoroughly how those cadres acquired the firearms and where they got the license from. And we demand the arrest of those cadres. We appeal to all political parties in Zambia to sit down with your cadres, tame them so that they don't involve themselves in political violence. Because political violence is denting the image of our country, Zambia. So as a Political Violence Association of Zambia, we appeal to all well-meaning Zambians to stay away from any act of violence for the betterment of our beloved country, Zambia.
New Hope Movement for Multi-Party Democracy MMD Secretary General Elizabeth Chitika has charged that elections should not be based on the highest bidder, but the candidate that has the passion to lead the country. Ms. Chitika says everyone standing under the New Hope MMD ticket must preach love, unity and non-violence, adding that the party thrives on those tenets. This came to light when aspiring candidates for Monali and Mandevo constituency were filing in their applications in Lusaka Saturday. Meanwhile, MMD election chairman Malama Sokoni says aspiring candidates who will use any form of corruption won't be adopted by the party.
You need to campaign and touch the hearts of the people. As you campaign, you need to touch the hearts of the people. Remind them about the difficulties that we have in the country today. It will be a very easy election. You don't need huge sums of money, but speak to the people. As you speak to the people, preach love, preach unity, and also ensure that there's no violence, because violence in the MMD is not our portion. Just ensure that you do your campaigns. Door-to-door campaigns are very effective. Don't worry about the huge rallies you are seeing. Door-to-door campaigns will be able to enable you to touch the hearts of the people in Munali, the hearts of the people in Mandevu.
Okuna tukwatama rules for disqualification. Once candidate in warning the pela once as MMD candidates. Once candidate ukatampokola fumyundu pia ukulashita abantu. They should consider themselves automatically disqualified. Instead, repeat your statement. Any candidate who shall start using money or any other form of corruption or bribery to win a vote at whatever level, they can consider themselves disqualified.
Our Civic Duty Association, OCIDA, has implored traditional leaders in the country to remain politically neutral and desist from endorsing political parties or political office aspiring candidates. OCIDA Administrative Secretary Simon Kabanda says traditional leaders preside over preservation of culture, customs and traditions of the people, who also look after various people from different political divides. Mr. Kabanda has charged that Clause 2 of Article 168 of the National Constitution of Zambia challenges traditional leaders who seek to hold office in a political party or election or appointment to state office to abdicate the chief's throne. Details in this.
Traditional leaders play a key role in the distribution of communal land, the administration of justice, and the organization of communal projects. All these duties make chiefs powerful figures in the rural Zambian communities. Although unable to run for office directly, chiefs in Zambia are politically powerful, often seen as gatekeepers for parliamentary elections. However, traditional leaders are not supposed to actively participate in politics, considering that they govern people with different views, backgrounds, and opinions. This is the more reason Article 168, Clause 2 of the laws of Zambia states that a chief who seeks to hold office in a political party or election or appointment to a state office shall abdicate the chief's throne. But of late, political leaders have defied their role and are now publicly seen endorsing candidature of their choice in the forthcoming general elections. The matter has brought public outcry, considering that traditional leaders are supposed to remain neutral no matter the circumstance. This is the more reason our Civil Duty Association, OCIDA, is now calling on traditional leaders in the country to remain politically neutral.
We wish to appeal to our traditional leaders, the chiefs, the village headmen, the village headwomen, to remain politically neutral, particularly this time when we are preparing for the presidential and general elections, which will take place in August. Traditional leaders preside over the preservation of traditions and culture. Although Article 168 of the Constitution states that a chief may seek or hold public office This does not mean that a chief is at liberty to endorse or support a political party or a candidate for political office.
Mr. Kabamba wants traditional leaders who want to join politics to resign from their positions.
There is a reason why Clause 2 of the same Article 168 states that a chief who wishes to hold political office shall abdicate the throne. It is that same reason that restricts the chief from endorsing or publicly supporting a political party or a candidate for political office. We therefore once more wish to appeal to our traditional leaders to remain politically neutral.
Traditional leaders are an inspiration to the people around them, while they are also citizens who have the right to vote for a candidate of their choice, using their position to persuade other people to vote for a particular candidate of their choice for various political office shall not be entertained, as it goes against their mandate of providing peace and unity in the country. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Timber Association of Zambia has registered its displeasure over allegations that Minister of Tourism and Arts, Ronald Stotela, has been granted permission to cultivate and trade in Mukula. Association President Charles Masange has told Camnet News in an interview that there is need for fair play in the timber sector, specifically Mukula business and not only those holding the mantle of power. In July 2017, government banned the harvesting, transporting, trading and exporting of Mukula logs, which the ban is still in effect. However, it is alleged that Tourism and Arts Minister Ronald Stotela and the named Chinese company have been given a license to harvest Mukula in Kawambwa, Pambashe constituency. Mr. Masange has to this effect called on government to address the matter and ensure that all concessional license holders begin to trade in the business. Efforts to get a comment from the minister could not materialize by broadcast time as his phone went unanswered.
So Honorable Stotela going into the bush with Chinese to start cutting is uncalled for, especially at this period when we need a lot of votes. That's the campaigning the party, which I appeal to the Secretary, to the Secretary General of the Patriotic Front to intervene and call Honorable Stotela for education, because it's supposed to campaign and not to be campaigning the party. Because by going with the Chinese, the concessional holders in Luapula are very annoyed. They called me in a very annoyed manner. If they don't know, Mukula is among the people, the vulnerables. So we expect the honorable leaders to live by example, by helping the timber producers in Luapula cut on their own and sell at economical prices, which I've said. Then we bring foreign exchange. In fact, government is supposed to depend on revenue by taxing those higher prices, not government to go and cut on their own. Of course, it's not government. It's Honorable Stotela doing that. I'm appealing to Honorable Stotela to immediately help his counterpart, Honorable Jean Kapata, do the right thing. Honorable Stotela, if he's in the bush with that company of the Chinese, may he come out of the bush immediately, because I hear that, in fact, there's some uncapped institution where the officer from there is posing like a forest officer. He has even ignored the forest officer. So such anarchy we don't want. We want transparency in all the sectors.
Like earlier mentioned, efforts to get a comment from the minister proved futile, and therefore we will continue to follow this matter and give you an update probably next week. In other news, an economic analyst, Yusuf Dodia, has observed that the recent decision by the Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, CCPC, to fix cement prices in the country is a misrepresentation of a liberalized market. Mr. Dodia says Zambia has adopted a liberalized way of doing business, which means that business owners are allowed to fix prices through competition and not through price fixing by a regulator or government. Mr. Dodia explains that it is against CCP's mandate to fix prices, but that the Commission is instead supposed to encourage and persuade government to allow more investors in a particular sector. He says the decision by CCPC is detrimental to the growth of Zambia's economy, as it may erode confidence for investors who may wish to join the sector.
Recent calls for CCPC and other statutory bodies to investigate different business sectors for the purposes of looking at price fixing is something that's important, but we must recognize that what the value of investigations are is that to find out whether the investors in a particular sector are so few that they can do price fixing. And if they do so, it is of course the role of government to punish, to put sanctions on these companies, but the long-term solution is to introduce more competition. Because if we have a situation where the regulatory authorities start to control what businesses do, then we are going back to the government-controlled economy. We are no longer talking about a free market economy. We are no longer talking about a liberalized economy. And that is going to actually bring our economy backwards. So what we need to do is recognize that the role of the regulator is to provide intelligence, market intelligence, business intelligence as to what is happening in that business, that market, and then the government should take the necessary steps to dilute those players that are exploiting the opportunities at the expense of the Zambian people.
You're watching Camnet News. Just now we take a break. Stay with us for more interesting stories. Don't go away.
In this fast-paced era of industrial boom and population growth, there is need to invest in smart ways of managing electricity and water consumption and reducing utility billing costs associated with the postpaid billing system. At Savenda Electronics, we manufacture right here in Zambia different types of high-quality smart electricity and water meters to customer specifications. Savenda Electronics water and electricity meters help you monitor your usage and gives notifications such as low units, tampering, low battery, and many other features. These easy-to-use meters makes it easier to buy units even in these COVID times and top up just from the comfort of your space. Favorable contract terms are available to both electricity and water utilities. For more details, get in touch with us on the following numbers: 0956 580 349 or 0977 498 318. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself? You know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerin?
Oracle Pure Glycerin? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish! You're glowing.
Don't tell me.
Yes! I already know the secrets. Oracle Pure Glycerin!
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin.
Everything comes in twos this weekend on GoTV. It may take two to tango, but when there's trouble in paradise, one might just run solo. Jean-Claude Van Damme puts his life on the line to save two brothers from the gang. And a brutal double murder leaves a close-knit community traumatized. GoTV. Love it.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying on. We continue with the news. The Zambia Institute of Governance and Civil Liberties Advocacy Platform Chief Executive Officer Francis Chipili has expressed concern at the threat of national food security as well as livestock subsector caused by the lifting of the ban on the exportation of maize, animal feed and meal number 3. Mr. Chipili explains that lifting the ban has caused erratic supply of the commodity, especially meal number 3, as most traders who supply the commodity to the market in Lusaka are opting for regional markets, which is offering much better than the local farmers. He has since called on government to immediately intervene and stop the exportation of meal number 3 to regional markets.
We are greatly concerned at the threat of national food security as well as the livestock subsectors caused by the lift of the ban on the exportation of maize, animal feed, as well as meal number 3.
commonly known as Gaga. This lift on the ban has caused erratic supply of the commodity, especially meal number 3, known as Gaga, as most traders who supply the commodity to the main market in Lusaka are opting for regional markets, which is offering them much more than the local farmers. The unfortunate part is that the maize that is produced in this country is actually subsidized by the taxpayers, as government supplies the majority of the inputs in terms of fertilizer and seeds. And naturally you'd think that the Zambian people would enjoy the benefit of subsidizing the commodity by ensuring that the livestock subsector as well as the national food security is guaranteed. Lately, around this time of the year, actually there shouldn't be any shortages of meal number 3 or maize for that matter, because farmers are harvesting. But what is happening now is a serious national threat that will affect the production in the pig production, livestock production, as well as broilers. And we want to call upon the government to immediately intervene and stop the exportation of meal number 3 to regional markets.
A man of Lusaka's Kanyama compound says President Edgar Lungu must forgive him and the nation at large for beating up his wife and removing his front teeth. Christopher Mutemba, 51, a security guard, claims he assaulted his 35-year-old wife because of cheating suspicion. Meanwhile, Susan Chitalu says she is no longer interested in the marriage. She explains that the pain she has gone through is enough. Miriam Kaimba filed this report.
Spending 23 years in marriage with 6 children, this woman of Lusaka's Kanyama compound says she can no longer continue with her marriage because her husband has abused her more than enough. Susan Chitalu, a general worker, narrated to Camnet TV the sleepless night she spent during the time she has lived with her 51-year-old husband, Christopher Mutemba.
Atsunani yanke kuno kamene hapo ndio mwana sokolola chimshichiwipo ni chuchana na panga no yamboni cha so ndio mwana bwana chigwira na bashika overpower ndio mwana nikamira pamkosi nikama pamkosi ne mpampusi ndio mwana bwana ndela kustingu kujala nikonka na chiwipo ni ngoni tuna bashika overpower na mataira pampando ndio mwana nikabira panja so ene sinaziwe ndio mwana bwana tengela shave no boni minya mcho sameni.
And after hearing a side of the story, this reporter turned to the man she called the love of her life for the past 23 years to get his side. Surprisingly, Mr. Mutemba, who is a security guard, openly without any denial, accepted brutally beating his 35-year-old wife mercilessly using a shovel and removing her teeth. His reasons for his action, he claims, is that he suspected she was cheating on him. However, he is remorseful for his action and has begged his wife to get back with him. But his pleading could not change the heart and mind of this 35-year-old woman who remembered with tears in her eyes the pain and torture she was subjected to. It is disheartening to see how gender-based violence continues to increase in society when government and non-government organizations are sensitizing the dangers of such actions.
Very touching story.
I think also we cannot reconcile such a such a serious criminal issue. We are taking this issue back to the police so that the law can take its own course. Because if we allow a situation whereby such issues we are sweeping them under the carpet, they die natural death like that, I think we are not helping women, we are not protecting women. Women, they deserve protection, they deserve respect, they deserve our support as men.
Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Sad state of affairs there. Water Development, Sanitation and Environmental Protection Minister Raphael Nakachinda has ordered the immediate closure of YLD Block Factory in Lusaka's Makeni area for disobeying orders to move machinery and causing noise pollution in the area. Mr. Nakachinda, who visited the site Friday afternoon, says it is unfortunate that the company has continued to operate despite the directive from the Zambia Environmental Management Agency ZEMA that the machinery be moved from its current location to the west side where there are no houses. The minister has also noted that the company has disobeyed the law by turning a residential plot into a commercial area without authorization from the relevant authorities. Details of this.
Block-making business has been booming in Zambia owing to the fact that Zambia is a developing country with various infrastructures coming on board. While several investors and local people are eyeing the industry to get a share of the cake, the looming business has come with its own challenges, such as companies now utilizing residential plots to set up block-making factories. One thing that cannot be ignored is that machinery that makes blocks produces a lot of noise and causes pollution to the air in the process. This is the reason why Minister of Water, Sanitation and Environmental Protection Raphael Nakachinda has demanded the immediate closure of YLD Block-making Company in Lusaka's Makeni area.
ZEMA made an intervention and started to stop operations and even gave them a compliance order, which was very specific. They have defied that order. And today we have continued to operate. The issue of whether they are renting or whatever is immaterial. The operations here had their own specific conditionalities. Even the land use is basically a requirement. If you're going to change from a domestic residential place to a commercial place, those are requirements by law. Now, if you're going to be having people just wake up in the morning and start making blocks in a residential place without complying with the law, I mean, we can't tolerate that. So to ask him whether it is somebody, there is no way he can say that somebody told them, because there is correspondence to that effect from them.
The company has not only invented the residential plot, but also ignored a directive from the Zambia Environmental Management Agency to move its machinery from the current position near the houses to the east of the plot where there are no houses.
The land use from the current use to industrial. With Ministry of Local Government. Apart from that, we also asked you to move that machine to that corner where there is less, there are no people there, here there are residences. We said until you do that, you will not work. Then you came back, you said fine, we want to finish the stock that we have. We gave you an extension of 14 days.
And the representative of the company says management went on a break, the more reason machinery has not been moved.
The person who was here, he has got tomorrow. Because what we were told when we came from holiday, we were told that we are allowed now to work.
Who told you that?
The guy who used to work.
The ZEMA doesn't operate on hearsay. They wrote to you. Didn't they give you correspondence from them?
Now the paper, we were not given, maybe it was given to the guy who was here, but we were not given ourselves right now.
The Environmental Protection Minister also visited the site of a company in Lusaka that is recycling empty plastic bottles for the production of granulars used in the production of sacks. While the idea of recycling bottles is a good move in protecting the environment against bottle waste, recycling of these materials comes with its own challenges such as air pollution and health complications to workers if safety measures are not well adhered to. Mr. Nakachinda has since challenged the company to buy a bigger machine for the recycling of these materials as opposed to what is currently on the ground.
Which are of great concern is how the workers are not properly protected. So basically, labor laws are all violated. People are operating in this environment without proper protective clothing, which is a danger to their lives.
Investment is good for every country, but the safety of its people and the environment must come first, because a healthy people makes a healthy nation. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Government has vaccinated 496 people with the COVAX AstraZeneca vaccine in Lusaka, bringing the cumulative total to 706, of whom 263 are male and 231 are female. 26% of the persons vaccinated so far are healthcare workers. In a statement issued to the media, Health Minister Jonas Chanda says the numbers are impressive, assuring the nation that the acquisition of more vaccines is in the process, of which the doses are expected to be in by May 2021. The minister maintains that the targeted population under the vaccines available include healthcare workers and other frontline workers performing core societal functions such as teachers, journalists, security, immigration, and the defense, and elderly with underlying conditions are also considered. Meanwhile, in the last 24 hours, the country has recorded among 29 districts countrywide 94 new COVID-19 cases out of 6,330 tests conducted, representing a positivity of 1.5%, with Eastern having the highest number of 30%, followed by Lusaka. You're still watching Camnet News. We take another break. Join me shortly for international and sports news.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
You get Showmax, you get instant access to full seasons of award-winning series and blockbuster movies.
It's amazing.
You get shows you won't find anywhere else, like Showmax Originals.
Thank you so much.
You get awesome kids shows.
Freaking awesome.
Amazing documentaries.
You literally cannot make this up.
And now, you also get live world-class sport from Supersport.
Everything's under control.
All ready and waiting for you to watch online on your smartphone, tablet, desktop, or smart TV, wherever and whenever you like.
Whoa.
So what are you waiting for? Go to showmax.com to sign up. From football seasons to binge-worthy seasons, you'll get it all on Showmax. One platform, endless entertainment.
2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years, the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses with only a few months remaining down to the ballot. The battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest of appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor, or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict.
For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883, 0979 753010, or email us info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us on Camnet TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdict.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying on. The UN says hundreds of children were separated from their families when Palma, a town in northern Mozambique, was attacked by an armed group last month. Many of them are arriving in Pemba. Al Jazeera also reports that about last day of campaigns in Cape Verde ahead of Sunday's election. The incumbent Prime Minister Ulysses Correia da Silva says his re-election would be good for the nation's oil and diamonds, but his opponents are accusing him of mismanaging the economy at a time of severe drought.
When an armed group attacked the town of Palma in Mozambique's Cabo Delgado province, some of these women got separated from their children. Their plan was to reach Pemba, the provincial capital, hoping their sons and daughters had also managed to get here as well.
I want this war to end. I can't take it anymore. People are left with nothing. People are suffering. A lot of children are without their parents. You know how many pregnant women are here without their husbands, here by themselves? I just want to live in peace. I want this war to be over. Please let this war be over.
After a few phone calls, Hajira is told her children are still stuck in Palma, hungry and afraid. But right now, she can't get to them. The United Nations says thousands of people fled Palma last month. Many of them are children traveling on their own.
Some saw their parents being killed. So we have very, very graphic reports from toddlers that shouldn't even know some of the words, telling us, I saw my father being beheaded, I saw my mother being killed. Some we see other children bringing the younger brothers, and they talk to us as tiny adults. It's quite shocking.
The armed group, calling itself Al-Shabaab with links to ISIL, is behind the attacks that began in 2017. Some of the mothers here say children are being kidnapped by the armed group. The boys are forced to become fighters and the girls forced into marriages and sexually abused. Unaccompanied minors will eventually be placed with host families in Mozambique. That's if their parents or relatives can't be found. But as attacks in Cabo Delgado province grow in size and frequency, humanitarian workers warn more children could once again be on the move.
Correia e Silva is trying to win votes in his final rally on the island of São Vicente. Using the slogan, "The Safe Path," he tries to reassure the people of the small island nation that have suffered from the economic fallout of the COVID pandemic. He says he's the one that should be trusted to lead the country for the next 5 years.
The vast construction work, the new hotels, this is no coincidence, it's our work. We have created jobs and built an atmosphere of trust, attracting investors.
All lies, according to his main challenger, young Janira Hofer Almada from the old African Party for the Independence of Cape Verde, known as the PICV. She has been traveling across the islands meeting voters.
The people know that beyond gender, what this country needs is someone that has the will to work. This is a race to build a better nation for us all.
She accuses the Prime Minister of selling the country's assets, including the national airline, the National Electric and Water Company. Almada says that the government has been mismanaging public funds.
With the slogan Cabo Verde para todos, meaning a Cape Verde for everyone, the opposition leader Almada is trying to appeal to both young first-time voters and the traditional electorate. If she wins, she will be making history, becoming the first female prime minister in this country's history.
In this election, there are hundreds of candidates for only 72 seats in the National Assembly. An important portion of the electorate are the Cape Verdeans living abroad in the east coast of the United States, Portugal, and Europe. They make up the majority of the population. The money they send back, as well as tourism, fuel the economy, allowing the government to invest in green energy, education, and healthcare. And over the course of a generation, Cape Verde went from one of the world's least developed nations to a middle-income country.
We now focus our attention on sports news. Defending champions ZESCO United have advanced to the 2020-2021 ABSA Cup finals after a 4-0 demolishing of Eden University National First Division side Concola Blades at Kitwe's Arthur Davis Stadium on Saturday. The 6-times ABSA Cup winners have set up a date with big spenders LUSAKA DYNAMOS, who thrashed Sanako in an earlier kickoff at the same venue. ZESCO United Kelvin Mubanga Kampamba was the star performer as the former Nkana and Power Dynamos midfielder destroyed the Blades. The Chipolopolo midfielder was involved in all the 4 goals, including his quick-thinking throw for the 3rd goal. Well, that's all we had for you in the news this evening. The headlines once again. The Timber Association of Zambia questions government over alleged Stotela's Mukola harvesting license. OCIDA castigates partisan traditional leaders. Police given 72 hours to find the HATEMBO siblings. And in international news, hundreds of children in Mozambique separated from their families. In sports news, ZESCO book a finals date with LUSAKA DYNAMOS in the 2021 ABSA Cup. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, and it's coming from Psalms 42 verse 5, and it reads, "Why, my soul, are you downcast? Why so disturbed within me? Put your hope in God, for I will yet praise him, my Savior, my God." Thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. Stay safe. Good night.